So this is one that I call Westbound. I shot this in 5 points MARTA station in downtown Atlanta. Um, really, I again trial and error is really one of my best friends at this point.
Mm.
Um, and really using just being patient and allowing the trains to come through and seeing where should I stand and how should I stand and do I want like a subject coming through the door or just even standing by the door and going from there. I really like the vibrancy of the colors and the contrast of the
Hmm.
colors. That's really what I was looking for. I had a thought in my head or kind of like a plan in my head of how I want to shoot. I've been to this train station so many times in my life,
Yeah.
and I've always seen the colors and seen where the train stops and those kind of things. And I really kind of framed it in my head before I actually went out and go shoot it. Once I got to the street or got to the train station and stood on those stairs looking down, all I had to do was really just wait and go from there. It really was just a waiting game because
Mm.
I had already done so much, I guess, planning and preparing to shoot this particular
Yeah.
scene. I've seen it so many times, and I just really had to find the time and go out and shoot it and spend time there in that station trying to capture this scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you said that it's a place that you've seen, you've been 1,000 times. It can be hard to see these places in a fresh light, and
Right.
it's just so vibrant and like dynamic the way that the scene is. It's a very normal scene that I think a lot of us see maybe every day, and
Yeah.
yet it's so fresh and so new. And uh, I don't know. Did you like, was this on your commute, or did you like specifically, dedicate some time to just go to this station and do this? How did this come about?
Yeah. I really just dedicated some time to go out and shoot this. I I spent maybe the first part of 2020, maybe 6 months or so, really going out every day to shoot for a couple hours and going to
Mm.
different areas of the city. If I found like a pocket of light or a particular composition that I liked, I would go back a few times to really try to capture it and try to see it from
Nice.
different angles, different times of the day.
Yeah.
Again, I think with me, it's all about trial and error. I just have to see what I like and seeing how the conditions change around the particular scene I want to shoot, and really go for there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing. Do you have
yeah,
any more?
yeah. A few more. This is one of my favorite ones. This
Oh,
one
yes.
has like a Hitchcock vibe.
Uh-huh.
I grew up watching a lot of Hitchcock movies with my mom and my dad, and the contrast and the shadows that he has, the silhouettes
Yes.
really was a big influence on this one. I really got lucky shooting this particular frame. I shot again downtown Atlanta near Peachtree Center, and I really got lucky because the larger silhouette of this man, he was just standing there for in the
Yeah.
middle of the street for like 2 minutes or so for whatever reason. And then I got lucky with the second silhouette of the man walking into the frame,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as I saw him walk in, and I knew I had to capture that. And
Yeah.
this one was I really saw this scene, and then I had to wait for a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes before anyone was walking by. And once they both walked into the frame, I just went ahead and shot it and captured it.
Yeah. I want to camp out on this one for a second. It's one of those shots, like the longer you look at it, the more you see and the more it unfolds before you. I mean, so first of all, like everything is just perfectly aligned, which I am such a sucker for. Like everything is in its like almost like contained in boxes.
Yeah,
That silhouette character is perfectly aligned between the character coming in from the side and the shadow that's behind him, and then even like the way that the street lights are, like everything's balanced, and then there's like that big splash of yellow color at the top left. That's kind of balanced by the like bush kind of shadow on the
yeah.
bottom right.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, it could almost be a black and white image were it not for that yellow color at the very top left that really kind of adds this other dynamic to it. And I mean, that character, like, he almost looks like Alfred Hitchcock. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's a very similar character. And then there's almost like, it's got to just be the shadow, but there's like almost like little like devil horns or something coming out of the character that's next to him. That like
Yeah.
makes you think of all kinds of. It's just, there's so much going on here. It's, and yet it's so clean and so simple. I, but the first time I saw this one, I just couldn't believe it. It's so good.
Thank you. Thank you. It's one of
Um,
my favorite images that I've taken.
oh
This is
yeah,
the
you
one I
should
always
be.
go back to and look at and try to recreate in different aspects,
Yeah.
or really in different places around the city.
Hmm.
Um, and this is when I really realized that this is, you know, street photography is all about luck and really just being in the moment at the right time, the
Right.
decisive moment, I guess. Um, and
Yeah.
this is, yeah, that's where I found that one.
So I want to ask you about that too, because I think when I first got started with like street photography, I just assumed you'd be walking around and you'd see something like this and you'd just whip up your camera and get it real quick. And I found that that was impossible. And as I learned about it more and kind of developed, I started realizing like, oh, these people are typically like finding a scene and then waiting for somebody to walk into it. Is that what happened here?
Yeah,
How,
that's
how did it
exactly
start?
what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah, I really just finding a scene like you said, and just waiting for the action to happen.
Mm,
Sometimes, a lot of times I have a scene kind of like this one, and there's no one walking by, there's no cars, nothing, no subjects coming in. You
mm,
kind of just have to keep it in your mind, make a bookmark, and go back and revisit it.
right.
Maybe on another day, maybe a little bit later on the same day, but it kind of sticks with you when you
Yeah.
don't have when you don't feel like you have a complete scene. But sometimes you get lucky and you don't. I only have to wait like 5 minutes or so, and then I have a subject coming through, and I can capture it then.
Even 5 minutes is a long time to just stand there
Yeah, yeah,
waiting
it
for
is.
something to happen, holding a camera in your hand. You feel kind of silly.
Yeah,
That's great. Oh man. And then this scene looks pretty compressed. Like, this doesn't feel like a 28 millimeter, like you were 5 feet away from these people. It feels like pretty far away and like maybe telephoto. Like, is it a longer lens? Is it, how did you, gear wise, how did this come about?
so it wasn't a longer lens. I typically shoot on a 24 to 85,
Okay.
kit lens. I believe I shot this one around 85 millimeters. I
Okay.
was just
Okay.
standing maybe across the street,
Right.
and he was closer to the other side of the street,
Hmm.
not on the sidewalk, but just maybe kind of in the street a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the added depth of the street light or the traffic light with the shadows against the wall kind of just all
Yeah.
came together.
Nice. Okay. So it was a little bit longer. And one last thing I'm noticing with this one, I'm just noticing this now. There's also that little splash of red color on the very bottom, balancing the yellow at the like top and bottom. Uh, Yet another
Yeah,
balance, like just perfection. Man, just 11 out of 10. Like, this is such a
thank you.
amazing photo that I hope I could take something like this one day.
I
Um,
really appreciate that.
yeah, I just, if you have any more, I'm loving this.
This one is another favorite of mine. I shot this on Ellis Street, in downtown Atlanta. Also, really, I again just waiting for someone to walk by. I saw the scene before anyone came by. And this is one of those days where I was waiting for about a good 20 to 30 minutes, just standing in a parking deck, looking over into the street. And then once the subject walked through the frame, I kind of framed it so I can get the sign also with him walking through.
Yeah.
And I just got really lucky with him kind of making the same walking pattern as the sign. And then, yeah, this is one of my favorite areas to shoot in Atlanta. The light, especially in the
Hmm.
morning, is just so perfect, especially in the winter, long shadows and all that. And I find myself revisiting this particular corner um, anytime I'm shooting. I usually try to start here and then work my way to other parts of the city.